Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Thursday the 10th of December. Looking at the euro dollar first, and as you can see we've run into the daily 200. We have got some divergence with this move, so good stoppage into the daily 50 retracement, pushed back up, and we've run into a bit of a, as I say, a bit of divergence sitting here into the 200 moving average, and seeing a bit of a reaction to that at the moment. Looking down the time frames, and well, we could see a bit of a continuation of this sell-off here. It's getting pretty close to daily pivot. That could well be hit. It's then where next, really. As soon as the market moves in this sort of picture, it does. I mean, it looks bull flaggish, and there is a chance that we could see a break of this upper trend line and a move up perhaps to yesterday evening's highs again. If it does start rolling over through the daily pivot, well then the obvious targets are really the 34 and 50. So maybe the pushback, a retracement back to the S1 level. At the moment, as I say, it is bull flaggish. I would be watching for the breaks this morning. Possibly, if we can get, as long as we can get that daily pivot out the way, I'll be looking for the breaks. However, if it does continue pushing down in this direction, well, we may just have overdone it. But as I say, we've got divergences. We've got divergence on the dailies. There is a 4-hourly divergence looking at other indicators, and well, we could continue in this mode. Looking at the pound dollar then, and let's look at the big picture first. And back above the average line here now in the regression. It moved back pretty well there. It was attacking the lower side for a little while, and it's now pushed back all in one solid day there. Again, we've run into resistance on the daily 34, the 4-hourly 200 area. When you look at this, though, it's a bullish sort of pattern that's sort of sitting here. Although we've got daily pivot quite some way under now. Cable's held up. Today we have the MPC meeting, the Bank of England meeting, to see if any changes to rates, which is highly unlikely. To see anything different, the voting will be watched quite carefully because we do get the votes out now on the same day, so everything will be run over. There is no press conference as far as I can see, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Maybe a lot of nothing because there's no expectation for anything to happen, and if nothing happens, well, I think it may be in the text of the minutes that we may learn more than from anything else. Now it's seeing, as I say, quite a reasonable recovery from daily perspective. There's no reason why it couldn't carry on. It's just at a point of resistance at the moment, but that could be broken. I mean, the 34, so that probably the 200 has been tested before anyway. Okay, let's have a look at the dollar yen. So dollar yen sold off. It finally broke out of this range that it's sat in for such a long time. May see some continuation of that, although we found support on the 34. On the 4-hourly 500, just short of the monthly S1 level there. It did get quite sold off into quite an extreme, so maybe if it can find some resistance up this point, we may see a move back down on the yen. So from that 4-hourly perspective, and it may be we just run into the daily pivot just above us here. It could even go before then. I would look at probably re-angling this trend line after the current candle was finished, and look at possibly some of the shorter time frames. There is a secondary trend that runs along these higher lows on the 4-hourlies. So it could be hourly. So we could be putting the trend line along those as well. Okay, so it's at the moment again bull flaggish sort of territory, but and you can see how extreme it got onto the RSI here. We've got figures of sort of nearly below 4 there on the RSI, so pretty extreme. The only thing is it didn't come straight down to catch it, so watching it carefully. If it does start breaking through the daily pivot, it's a bit like the inverted euro, if it starts breaking through this sort of daily pivot, well then you've got the 34 and 50 that it may come back towards, so it may get a bigger bounce. So I'll be watching for that. Aussie dollar, okay. Sterling jobs report today. I mean, yesterday it put this nice reversal bar in, but through the Asian session, through the Australian session, we saw the jobs figures come out. It's interesting that I'm looking. Some skeptics are wondering whether the job figures are actually being calculated correctly. There are questions about them. However, there's then questions where it's the best jobs figure for a long time. Highest monthly increase in 15 years in terms of employment growth. So, and the unemployment rate sank to lowest since April 2014. However, when looking at the detail behind it, there is, as I say, there are some skeptics there. So we'll see. For now, though, looking at where we're sitting, the hourly is possibly best showing what's going on. I've just sort of drawn this trend line on here. It's okay-ish. It could push back up towards its R3 area, but any break of these lows here, well, maybe back down to the R1. I think it may be a big ask for it to come down to its daily pivot, but weirder things have happened. At the moment, it really looks like it may be pushing back to the upside. Okay, and finally, Canadian dollar. So Canadian dollars, again, shoved up high, put in a doji yesterday, and it wasn't far off a double tops territory that we've seen here. This morning and through the Asian session, well, come off again, maybe heading back down towards the that monthly R1 and the 21 moving average there may be a target for it. If it gets back towards that, it may not necessarily hold. It's already hit that level before, so it may not necessarily hold, but it may get some reaction. Looking down the time frames here, it's missed at the moment its daily pivot, but well, could happen. I've drawn this trend line on a bit too early, perhaps. We've still got this 7 o'clock candle to finish, so which is showing a break, but maybe a break of these lows later on could see us pushing back down towards the S1 area and yesterday's lows again. Let's just have a look at oil when we're talking about, well, didn't quite get down to the absolute lows again yesterday. Got pretty close down to the S1 after a bit of a spike up. In the early afternoon, it sort of sank again. Short of its daily pivot. Daily pivot sits there. To me, this is potentially a bit of a holding pattern. We may be bottoming out here a little bit for now. And we may see a rally, in which case it may see the Canadian dollar, US dollar, Canadian dollar coming off some more. So very similar picture. As I say, there's a high correlation between the two, between the oil market and the Canadian dollar. So there is the potential for this to come off further. Okay, that's it from that. In terms of other news today, we've got just a normal Thursday unemployment claims in the US, which don't create much volatility. This morning, 8:30, we've got the Swiss interest rate decision and monetary policy at 8:30. Now that may be adjusted in line with the ECB's. Whether there's any more adjustments there, we'll see. So there's not a lot of other significant news. There's obviously a lot of news related at 12 o'clock related to the Bank of England rate. Different segments of that now. Thereafter, not a significant amount of news today. Okay, that's it for me. Hope you have a great one. Bye for now.